2022, Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, Woodward Sports Network, Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards. Good afternoon to you, my friend.
Man, good afternoon, and it was a great weekend, family weekend. How was your weekend, first and foremost?
Fantastic.
It was fantastic. What made it fantastic, Ryan Ermanni?
Well, you got a little bit of football going on, finally. Of course, the Michigan game that we'll talk about. You got a little barbecue, family time, and more important than anything, after all that laboring that we've been doing, we got some rest time in there as well. Fantastic.
Much appreciated. I got a chance to go to a Wu-Tang and Nas concert Saturday. Went to Albion, where my brother scored his first collegiate touchdown.
That.
So I was very emotional about that.
What a talented family, by the way.
Appreciate that, man. You know, my mom, my dad. Hey,
and it's not just limited to the males in the family.
No, not at all. No, not at all. My sister at Michigan State, she's in pre-law, like she's doing her thing. My sister has her own businesses that she's doing. So family's very blessed, very talented. And then
good-looking family,
appreciate
too.
That, man. Good genes, man. Good genes. I had nothing to do with that.
Yeah,
I had nothing to do with that. But then my brother, my nephew, Micah Pollard, got his first tackle in the big house as part of that Michigan team. So just all around, great weekend. And I just wiped some barbecue off my face before the show.
Look at that, Tom Mazawey. Good afternoon, big guy.
Hey, fellas, welcome back. It's Tuesday already. We're in good shape.
Feels like a Monday, though,
doesn't it? It's a football week, man. It's NFL in 2 days.
2 days.
College football, phenomenal weekend.
Yeah.
That LSU game, I've watched it 3 times, the ending, 4 times maybe. The ending was amazing. And when Brian Kelly put his one finger up to go for one, I said to my wife, I hope they miss the freaking extra point. And it gets blocked.
You want to know about that game?
Oh, go ahead. No, you go ahead.
You want to know about that game?
Yeah.
I'm watching that game in bed. The guy muffs the punt. Florida State recovers.
Yep.
I turn it off. I go to bed.
Oh.
Turned it off, go to bed.
99 yards later.
I'm like, I wake up in the morning, I saw 24-23. What the hell happened? Can you believe that? That's why you never turn a game off. I was so mad at myself because I was like, well, this lad, they're going to call 3 times. It's going to be dragged out, all this stuff. I was so mad at myself because I wasn't even that tired. I was just
Damn it, Ryan.
You know the thing that's like the thing from a collegiate standpoint, the collegiate kids, the student athletes. See, if you, let's say, get a punt block or an extra point block in the NFL, you know, it's obviously the Lions' fault. It's a breakdown in protection. But you as a player, like, you know, you just go into the facility, you go home all week. You don't have to go into a classroom. You don't have to go out in public if you had a blunder, if you will. If you're a collegiate athlete, you go out there and blow a game on Saturday. You got to go to class with those 100,000 students that were in attendance and watch you mess that up. And all eyes are on you. I remember Gary Reeves missed a kick for us that cost us a game. And I was in the class with him.
I remember.
I just felt the eyes piercing Garrett Reeves the whole time in class. I was like, man, I hate to be that guy.
Joe Tessitore was doing that game with Greg McElroy. Yep. I love Joe Tess. He did a phenomenal job on that game. And, man, that was so great to watch at the Superdome. And then the day before that, Ohio State and Notre Dame. Notre Dame gave them all they wanted. They just didn't have it in the second half. They could not score anymore. But I was just hoping for maybe a tie in that game.
So we talk about Ohio State.
Yeah.
And I was saying it all year. What was I saying, man?
That they're soft.
That offensive line and that defensive line is very soft, and they're going to be overrated. And I think you saw that on full display this past Saturday. Ryan Day has changed the identity of Ohio State. They're a finesse team. That doesn't work in the Big Ten.
No doubt about it. You mentioned Joe Tessitore. One of the things, too, just about watching college football this weekend, there wasn't a lot of big game announcers anymore. There's like none left. I'm telling you, I am down to Gus Johnson is numero uno now.
I see, yeah.
Gus Johnson and Joel Klatt, to me.
My favorite.
Now take the Fox thing out of it. You could say, oh, you work at Fox, you got to say that. No. There is nobody I'd want calling a game right now in 2022 than Gus Johnson and Joel Klatt. Fowler's fine. I feel like Herb Street is just totally disconnected. Fowler he's off a little bit never
too now.
Resonated with me,
Really?
Fowler, ever.
I think he's terrific.
I like him as
Fowler.
a studio host, and he's fine.
No, he's good, man.
But there's I'll give you Fowler, but outside of that, you got Sean McDonough. Great. You got Joe Tessitore, good. I know you love him.
I love him.
But after that,
It's a fall
who's
off.
out there? I mean, Now, CBS, I'm waiting for a
You got your
CBS game
SEC
for Brad
guys.
Nessler.
Yeah, you got Nessler.
But where's Vern? You don't
have any guys. I was
got
watching
those guys
Andre Ware
anymore.
do a game.
Bro, Keith Jackson. I mean, that's the end.
I know, but there's just no.
Brent Musburger.
The list is very limited these days as to who's calling big games.
Wait till NBC gets these games. They don't have anybody.
No.
They have Mike Tirico, and then that's it.
I don't even think he's calling Notre Dame games anymore. Collinsworth's kid is calling Notre Dame games.
Oh, that's right.
So Mike Tirico.
But they're going to get pro games. They're going to get more college games.
Yep.
Big Ten.
But what I'm saying is Tirico, you can't even count Tirico anymore
Right.
because Tirico isn't doing the Notre Dame games anymore. It's Jack Collinsworth.
Right.
Chris Collinsworth's son, which, you know what, good for him.
Yeah.
You know, Notre Dame kid, studied this stuff, went to class, did all that stuff.
He's
I don't
a little less
begrudge
crazy.
anybody for getting a job based on your last name. I really don't.
I don't either.
I don't. I mean,
If you earn it, you're there.
Absolutely. And you know what? Some people are just blessed.
Some people are born on Thursday.
Yeah, the Ermanni name, we didn't have that. We didn't have anybody.
You're big in De La Salle, though.
Now I am.
Yeah.
I follow Robbie Armani, man, on
how about
Instagram,
that,
man.
man?
He slid into my DMs, man.
Look at that.
So we're boys.
That's
boys
cool,
now.
man. But by the way, we were at the De La Salle game on Friday.
That was so
They
fun.
won that game 49-10 against number 8 in the state.
Wow.
I mean, they are De La Salle is
Look
a
out.
freaking
Machine.
wrecking ball.
Machine.
Look out,
Shout out
man.
Coach Ron.
Then we had a fun time or what that day?
That was fun.
It was great.
They treated
I
us like
enjoyed it.
they treated us like kings.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun hanging out with Anthony and born in Detroit. Like the whole setup was very lovely, very nice, good people.
Really good vibe,
Our
guys.
guy Larry Rancilio.
Absolutely, president of De La Salle. Guys, we're going to get into a lot of football talk today. We'll get into the Lions at 3 o'clock, top of hour number 2. So much to discuss with the Lions. It is game week. They did come off that 40-46 whooping at the hands of the Philadelphia Eagles last year. There's an injury to deal with. Captains announced, so we'll get into some Lions talk. But we're going to start with college football. Braylon Edwards, we will obviously start with the University of Michigan. Your impression of the Michigan football team after week 1. By the way, coaches poll is out. Michigan has improved to number 5 in the country. So Michigan was 6. They're now 5 in the coaches poll. AP poll not out just yet. Your impression of the Wolverines post week 1 is?
Excited about their defense. They got after it. They got around. They were flying around. I understand they were playing against Colorado State. I understand they're not a good ball club, but you like to see a team fly around. You like to see a team impose their will on inferior opponents. And I think that's what you saw on defense. They got 7 sacks out of 8 different defenders, 2 half sacks in there. So that was good to see. You saw the secondary make some plays. Saw guys coming off the end. Ozzie Smith made a sack. Saw Mike Morris make some plays in there. So excited about that. And on the offensive side of the ball, listen, their red zone offense, still a work in progress. It hasn't been a good red zone offense since 2016, in my opinion, so I didn't like that. Blake Corum, Donovan Edwards, they split carries just over 150 yards for those 2 guys combined. I don't think they showed much. What I do think is Jim Harbaugh is playing a chess game. And on Saturday, he basically set it up for Cade McNamara. But JJ was the guy that was going to win in the end. He put Cade McNamara in certain situations to be kind of like, if you will, vanilla in my expert opinion, or my unexpert opinion. Look kind of vanilla in terms of the play calling for him, the runs that they were calling for him, the passing plays they were calling for Cade. Didn't look like an opportunity really to go down the field. Didn't look like they were going after Ronnie Bell. Didn't look like they were going after Roman Wilson. Anything deep, anything fancy, anything exciting. It was very boring. But when JJ came in, it's the RPO plays. It's the passing plays. It's the quick stuff, things of that nature that's a little bit more exciting. It looked like it was set up for JJ to have success and take this job, and I think he is in the lead right now.
Maz?
Mark Jones was doing that game with RG3. By the way, Mark
RG3
Jones.
was great.
And add Mark Jones to that list. He's very good.
I was never a Mark Jones guy for whatever. Not as excitable
I like
to me.
him.
RG3 I thought was
Nonetheless,
fantastic.
RG3 is really, you can see that he's been practicing.
And I consider
he's
Mark Jones
stepped
an
up.
NBA guy too.
Okay.
He's great on TV too.
He's a Mr. Everything.
Yeah.
Anyway, RG3, you can see he's been practicing. He stepped up his game.
So good.
From the big. Remember when he was in the tunnel in the beginning of the game until the end of the game, and he put this out there. As far as the quarterbacks go at Michigan, he calls them vanilla and chocolate. He says Cade McNamara is vanilla, but J.J. McCarthy is chocolate. So he's a J.J. guy all the way. So, RG3.
when I watched the game, Ryan and Maz, was waiting to see Cade McNamara take that step. I have heard so much about how good he looked in camp. I was looking he's taken the next step, how he's turned the corner, how he's taken that senior year step that you're supposed to take. If you look at college football, what I saw was a narrative was quarterbacks that are veterans now taking that step, or should they take that step? DJ Uiagalelei, I always get
Uiagalelei, I think, or something like that.
Uiagalelei.
You hit it on the button.
Yeah. And it's funny, I talked to you, I said, no, I can't say it. Uiagalelei, is he going to take that next step? He looked mundane. He looked okay, but he's in a weak ACC, so it'll play out. You want to see if Peyton Thorne was going to take that next step. This is his third year. Was he going to take that next step? I didn't see him take that next step. You see Stetson Bennett IV. This is his third year. He took that next step. I didn't think Cade took that next step. I actually think he regressed, and he didn't look as good as everybody made out to say.
Can't you just blame it on the competition and it's game one?
Guys,
no.
I am so excited about this football season for the University of Michigan.
Yeah.
Everything this is what you are supposed to do against an inferior opponent.
100%.
You are supposed to put them into oblivion, into orbit. Everybody's talking about the schedule. This is what you do against a bad opponent, 51-7. I told you I need to see 40 points a game from the offense. You saw that. You got 7 on defense. You got 44 on offense. This is exactly what you want to see. The defense, to me, is what really impressed me.
100%.
Absolutely. And the quarterbacks, it is very simple. Very, very simple. And we'll move on with that coming up next. But first, a message from the Foaling Warehouse.
Oh, my man. Chris Hutt invented this great game of football and bowling, and you can go to Hamtramck and play Foaling 2 ways to play, $12 unlimited open play, and a private lane reservation, 10 or 12 people on a lane, run you $120, but you get it for 2 hours. That's less than $10 per person. Multiple full bars, over 100 beers to offer, and the mystery $2 beer machine. How about that? Bring your own food in or even have it delivered. Plenty of room for you. Spread on out, get your foal on. Check them out at foalingwarehouse.com.
It's a great day to get some Centron in your life. Okay. There it is. Centron, here we go. Gotta grab the cranberry. Oh wait, it's 2 for $4. Gotta double up with the classic as well. Centron World, baby. Centron, available at select Kroger's, and if you wanna know how, go to @CentronWorld.com. You can get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
For a limited time only, all new burgers and loaded fries at Big Boy. It's not a Slim Jim, it's the Big Jim. The chili cheese is such a tease. Guess what else is new? The bacon blue. How about upgrading those fries? Chili cheese fries, baked potato fries, nacho fries. What will it be? Satisfy those taste buds at Big Boy.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
Planet Fitness is the official studio sponsor of Woodward Sports. Also home of the Judgment Free Zone where you can work out for only $10 a month.
Only $10?
Only $10.
Good.
Or upgrade to the Black Card for unlimited guest privileges, hydro massage, and more. Join in club today or go to planetfitness.com. Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential.
Essential.
Cade a really solid game. Mute. I think he walks away mad at himself for missing C.J. Johnson on the crossing route, and threw the ball to C.J. a little wide on the opposite boundary. But other than that, I mean, made some terrific throws. Heck of a 2-minute drive. I think that's just the way he is. He's a perfectionist. So I thought it was a really solid game.
And that audio courtesy of Brad Galley, Channel 7 here in Detroit. Jim Harbaugh talking about Cade Cunningham. If you are watching on Twitter, we're going to go ahead and stop that feed, move you over exclusively to our YouTube channel, Woodward Sports on YouTube. Hit that like button.
Smash it.
As well. Smash that like button. Let's see if we can get to over 50 likes by the end of this segment. Also, tell a friend about Woodward Sports Network. Subscribe on YouTube, Woodward Sports. Braylon, lots to talk about in relation to the Michigan football team, but there has been no bigger topic with this football team than the quarterback
100%.
position. And just with the naked eye alone, J.J. McCarthy is your quarterback.
Yeah.
Period. End of story. And I said this before, I'll say it again. I love Cade McNamara.
Yeah.
What he did for the University of Michigan, ending this crazy losing streak to Ohio State and winning a Big Ten championship. He will go down in the history books as the quarterback that led Michigan to relevance, once again, for lack of a better way to say it.
It's the second best season in school history.
Absolutely. This is no slight to him. But at the University of Michigan, and I heard what he said post-game after saying, I was a little surprised about the way this quarterback situation was going to work out. I'd start week 1, JJ would start week 2. And he always kind of sounded like he was owed the job.
Right.
And this is the first time I ever disagreed with anything that Cade McNamara ever said. Because at Michigan, you compete for your job every year.
Yeah.
This is just because you were the quarterback last year doesn't mean you just get to be the quarterback this year. You have to compete for it. And unfortunately for Cade, the guy behind him is better. And it happens at every position. Whether you're an offensive lineman, whether you're a linebacker, DB, there are players who are going to come in that just happen to be better than you.
Yeah.
And there are 2 examples I'd like to give you, Braylon, where JJ is just better. One, and somebody tweeted to me about this. There was more read option. Cade didn't take it once. JJ takes the read option, keeps it, scores the touchdown.
Yep.
Cade would have handed that ball off because Cade always handed the ball off. And then there was, I think I found the play I was looking for. It was in the 4th quarter. It was a 15-yard pass to C.J. Stokes.
Yep.
It was a freaking missile. An absolute missile with no regard for C.J. Stokes' hands.
Right.
Okay? And I don't think Cade has that ball. This team is a 12-0 caliber 12-0 team with J.J. McCarthy at quarterback. He is, excuse me. Hot take alert. Hot take alert. J.J. McCarthy is going to start this week. He will never relinquish the Michigan starting quarterback position for the rest of the season and until his time at Michigan is done. J.J. McCarthy, your Michigan quarterback.
I like that take a lot. One thing, let me ask you a question. Let me pose it to you and Maz. Pose this to you this way. Do you think for a second that Jim Harbaugh always had the plan that JJ was going to be the guy? JJ was going to start week 2. JJ was then eventually going to, from week 3 on, JJ's going to be the guy. But he didn't necessarily want to start and show. He didn't want to start and show the offense, or is it like, hey, let's do it this way so it looked like I gave Cade a fair shake?
Yes, with a little caveat.
Okay, explain.
I think yes with a big one. I think you hit it on the button.
Yeah.
He always knew that J.J. McCarthy was the better quarterback because you can't watch these 2 players play and deduce anything different. But because of all those things that I said about Cade, beating Ohio State, winning a Big Ten championship, leading Michigan to their first ever college football, you can't just,
right,
out of respect
the
for
kid didn't
all
do
of
anything
that,
wrong.
Out of respect for Cade, you can't just say, well, I guess you could, but he didn't feel it was the right thing to do to say, you know what, I'm going to make JJ the quarterback week 1. I think out of respect for Cade and all of his past accomplishments, he did get game 1. We saw it with our own eyes. Missed reads, overthrows. There was an interception that wasn't an interception because of a penalty. It's pretty simple. It's not hard.
Let me ask you guys this really quick. Sorry, Brad.
Oh, no, go ahead, man.
This is the truth. I really don't know the answer to this. How soon before a player can transfer and play?
Now, I think.
I don't know.
Can he transfer now?
I don't know. Now, again,
Sam, do you know?
No, it's seasonal. I think you have until like November.
I don't know, because let's face it, this ain't the old college football.
I appreciate the question. I do think it is seasonal or every semester, or something like that. And when Jim Harbaugh was made fun of saying it's biblical, I understand the reference.
Yeah,
you never know what's going to happen.
No, you don't.
I mean, J.J. McCarthy could get run over by a Mack truck today, and God forbid, and you're going to need J.J. Cade McNamara. And in fact, I don't think this will happen, but if J.J. isn't that quarterback that we think he is, it's much easier to go from J.J. to Cade than I think from Cade to J.J. Does that make sense?
It does.
I think being a little bit more
he's a different quarterback.
An extra year under his belt, I think Cade has more of a could get in there as a replacement to JJ and be that guy if he needed to be. I don't think he'll have to be.
It's 2022. The landscape has changed in college football. It's no longer keeping one quarterback in and then waiting until his tenure is over and then you go with the next guy. Like, you got to go with the guy that gives you the best chance. And we've seen this play out before. We've talked about it on the show once. You talk about Clemson. Kelly Robinson's the guy. They go all the way to the college football playoff and they lose. Next year he starts to plays the first 4 games and then they bring in Trevor Lawrence. Because what? Trevor Lawrence gave them the best opportunity to win a national championship, and oh, by the way, he did. You look at the situation with Jalen Hurts and Tua Tagovailoa. When they were at Alabama, Nick Saban knew who was a better quarterback. Jalen Hurts can only do so much at the time. He couldn't take you over the hump, and at halftime of the national championship game, he didn't have any quarrels about pulling Jalen and putting in Tua Tagovailoa. Look at what happened to him. They won the national championship. Nowadays, we don't have time to wait 4 years for the next guy up. Who gives you the best chance to win games? Who gives you the best chance to win your conference? And that's that's J.J. McCarthy. When he's in the game, it feels different. It looks different. When Cade McNamara is in there, bless his soul, I'm waiting for the players on offense to make a play for Cade. When JJ's in there, I'm waiting for JJ to make the play for the other players. That's the difference. Cade, you're like, okay, I hope Eric All makes a hell of a catch. Or I hope that Blake Corum has a big run. Or I hope that Donovan Edwards has a reverse touchdown pass. Or I hope that, Roman Wilson catches a bubble screen and takes a 61 yard. With J.J. McCarthy, I'm like, oh, I know we're good. I know a big play is coming from him to somebody.
Remember last week when Jim Harbaugh was speaking? And what was the one thing that he said that sticks out in my mind? It sticks out in everyone's mind when it comes to the quarterbacks. Do you remember it, maybe?
Say it one
Jim
more time.
Harbaugh, last week, when he was speaking about the quarterbacks.
He thinks it'll become pretty clear, doesn't he?
What he said was, this guy can turn water into wine. It's over. Yeah. That's the line. It's over. Are you going to use that guy, or are you going to use the guy that's just water?
And you heard from some of those defensive players. Mazzy Smith today on another radio network in Detroit said that when JJ is the quarterback, it is a lot harder to stop the offense in practice than, and he didn't mean it as a slight.
Right.
Obviously the kid's just talking. He's just telling the truth.
Guy.
Because of the running element, it is much harder to stop JJ. You said something I want to pick up on. It just looks different with JJ. I'll tell you what looked different with JJ in the game. We'll do that next. But first, a message from Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac. It is no secret that new cars are hard to come by, but they are available at Les Stanford. Got to make a plan, though. Allocation coming in for lease or purchase of new vehicles. Les Stanford has over 300 pre-owned cars on their lot right now as well. All makes, all models, all years. Some with less than 500 miles on it, so they're like new. For more, visit LesStanford.com. LesStanford.com.
Find new roads.
Find them.
At work and at home. We're there with smarter security solutions, featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Hey, it's Scott from the Woodward Bet Show. Hey, we're fired up. We got NFL football this week. You guys are going to have to check us out at 4:30 at the Woodward Bets YouTube page. You guys are also going to have to go over to that app store and check out oddstrader.com. It's got live scoring, play-by-play updates, and best place to check all the odds of sports books right in the palm of your hand. But hey, we like fun coupons. We got to get ready for NFL football, so let's get after it. So listen, Johnny Cueto, 2-1, 1.0 whip in his last 3 starts. Sounds good to me. I'll take him today against the Mariners. OddsTrader.com. Woodward Bets. Check it out.
You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper. Tweet us. Hop on the YouTube chat. Slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
At Alta, uptime matters. Alta Equipment has everything you need to get the job done. Have a big project coming up? Alta Rent has you covered. Call them today at 844-GO-TO-ALTA. That is 844-GO-TO-ALTA.
I will fully accept it is because perhaps I wanted to see what I wanted to see. I will fully accept that as a criticism here with my next take. But Braylon, you just mentioned that it just looks different with JJ in the game. I think the players on Michigan's offense looked different with JJ in the game. More crisp. Just even the way they went to the line, the way they come off the ball.
They're more open because they're looking at JJ. What's this guy going to do?
Yeah.
They can't buckle down on all of these guys.
It just looked like the players raised their level of play a little bit more with JJ at quarterback.
Yeah, 100%. Like, look, I've been in a situation when I was in Seattle. Even at Michigan a couple times I was in a situation. But when I was in Seattle, this is on the heels of when they played Matt Flynn. Matt Flynn got paid basically off the Detroit Lions game. Gets paid, goes to Seattle. They draft Russell Wilson. I then get there as a free agent. I come into training camp, and I noticed the huddle. I noticed the difference. When Matt Flynn was in there, it was, all right, he's cool. He can sling the ball a little bit. It's okay. But when Russell was in there, the energy was just different. And guys picked up on the energy quicker. You start noticing guys like falling back, like, man, when's okay, Russell's in. Okay, I'm taking this now. And the energy gets good. You run your routes a little faster. You're a little crisper. You're getting open because you know plays are going to get extended. You know he's not going to get stuck in the backfield like a bump on a log. He's going to get out of the pocket. He's going to make things exciting. He's going to do things. That was the energy that we had, and that's why Russell Wilson ended up starting the beginning of the season. He's never looked back, even though Matt Flynn got paid all that money. Same thing with JJ. When he's in there, guys are excited. When you get excited, think that juices start to get going. Like that, the adrenaline starts to flow. You start making plays that maybe you wouldn't have made for Cade. You start running fast. You start blocking a little better. Why wouldn't you want to have this energy all the time? And I think that's where Harbaugh's going with now.
You sound like you actually played the game.
Well, I would like to think so.
Well, you know, the players only get a couple of shots at this, too, in their career. You know, they might like Cade, and we talk about the fact that Cade's a captain. I mean, Cade was voted a captain by the players. What is his captaincy going to look like? Because I fully believe that once JJ takes over as starting quarterback on Saturday night, he will never relinquish that as long as he remains at the University of Michigan, in my opinion. But what will Cade's tenure now look like at Michigan as a captain? Because the players do like him, but they just know, I think, by the looks of it, that the other guy puts him in a better position to win the game.
Part of being a captain, and that's the misconception. The captain isn't, you don't vote the best player captain because he's the best player. So you don't vote the best player on the team on offense or defense captain. The people that are voted captains are the guys that in the summer, they lead the runs, they lead the workouts, they lead the extra film watching study. They guys that you trust. They're guys that give the right message. They're guys that do everything right on the field. They're the guys who do things right off the field. They're the guys that lead. They're the guys that you can trust to and go to for leadership. You don't have to be a starter to be a leader. 1997, Michigan wins the national championship. Marcus Ray led that defense. Like Marcus Ray led that defense. Marcus Ray wasn't the captain. Zeus was. Eric Mays was the captain of that squad.
Eric Mays, dude. Portage, Michigan, baby.
Exactly.
My guy.
Eric Mays, leader of that team in terms of the messages, talking to the team, getting the guys right, little stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like policing themselves. He was a leader. That's why he was voted captain by the peers, not Marcus Ray. You don't have to be the best team or a starter to be a captain. You got to be able to lead by example and be a leader of men.
Let me ask you about the schedule, because when people outside of the University of Michigan fan base talks about the schedule, you're not going to get any credit for what you do. I mean, and I understand that, and fine. What do you care what other people think about you anyway?
We don't.
Because you could, again, turn water into wine. They say you didn't make it a nice Cabernet, you made it a Merlot. You know what I mean? You could say
It's a Pinot.
Yeah, right. You could say I cured cancer, but you didn't do it fast enough. You're just never going to get credit from other fan bases. I like this because you're giving a young defense time to grow and have some success. When you have confidence, you do everything better. Period. In your own life. Think about if you're a salesman out there riding around listening to Woodward Sports. You're going to your sales call and you just sold a couple of different things. You're like, oh, I'm going to sell this next one. I mean, any facet of your life, if you have confidence, you're going to do it better. For the Michigan defense to have some confidence after playing Colorado State, I think this is a good thing. When you have offensive players have some success, it's a good thing. There's only a couple of games that matter on the schedule every year for everybody.
I love the schedule.
And this is it.
I love the schedule. I love how it shapes up because of this. You get Cade starts week 1. We kind of know who's the guy now. JJ starts week 2 against Hawaii. Look at the schedule. They got Hawaii next. Okay. Then they got Connecticut. Then they have their first Big Ten game is Maryland. And then they play Iowa. You don't think Jim Harbaugh is excited after he saw South Dakota State almost beat Iowa? Because a lot of coaches, first-year quarterback starting, freshman guys, or if it's their first year, they get nervous when they're going into a hostile place.
Iowa's going to lose this week again.
100%. And I told you Iowa wasn't good. I remember my senior year, Chad Haney's freshman year. We played Notre Dame and Notre Dame. Notre Dame wasn't that good. They beat us, but they weren't that good. Lloyd would not open up the playbook because he didn't want Chad to beat us. He didn't want Chad to, experience failure and go into a shell shock. So he kept the playbook tight.
That's the worst.
But now with Jim, and you looking at and JJ, you look at this 4-game stretch right here. He's played well yesterday. Oh, I keep saying yesterday. He played well Saturday. He's going to play well against Hawaii. He's going to play even better against Connecticut. He's going to get his first Big Ten game against Maryland, a team that they should steamroll to. And now going into his first road test against a hostile environment, but that Iowa team's not good. He's going to be confident, and that playbook is going to be open enough for them to steamroll. I'm not going to say steamroll. I don't want to do it to Iowa just yet. But they're going to have a good showing. I like the setup of the schedule.
It's the largest spread in Michigan history.
51 points.
51 points. No team has been favored by more than that here that played up in Ann Arbor. Let me ask you guys this. JJ does well. First of all, wasn't Cade supposed to play the whole game on Saturday?
I don't know what the nuance was. Yeah, he said start.
Okay.
I actually thought that he was going to start Cade and then play Orgy. And then next week I thought he was going to start JJ and then play Orgy. Like I thought that's how he was going to do it. I didn't know he was going to play Cade, Bree, and JJ.
Great name, this kid.
Yeah, Orgy, right? Bowman, you got them all back in there. Anyway, let's say they split again this week. JJ plays the brunt of the first half, and Cade gets in for the second half. And then Jim says, I still haven't seen enough.
I don't think Cade's playing this week.
Yeah.
I think.
How do you not? How do you not put him in?
I'll tell you how. Because I think J.J. McCarthy is going to lead Michigan. You think I'm crazy here.
But if they're up 40-0.
Why would you play Cade at that point? Put Bowman and Orgy in. That's what I'm saying. I think J.J. is going to lead Michigan every single time. Every single time J.J. McCarthy has the football, they're going to lead Michigan to a touchdown. Not a field goal, not points, a touchdown. And if you're up 42-0 at halftime, why come out with Cade McNamara? At that point, come out with Bowman and or Orgy. Let Bowman play the third, Orgy play the fourth. I don't think you'll see Cade this week. That's what I'm telling you guys. JJ's taking this thing and he's running.
Can we take a step back and talk about another position just for a second? By the way, 15 players caught a pass this past Saturday. Like that's insane to me. 15 players caught a pass. What did you think from the running backs on Saturday, Ryan? Yeah. I thought, and so Blake Corn was talking to my brother, and he said he put on 10 pounds of muscle.
He had his hurdle.
The hurdle was nice. He said he put on 10 pounds of muscle for the season. Now, that always has bothered me about Michigan. Michigan's always the bulk you up type school. Like Mike Gittleson used to be the worst with it.
Oh, he was the worst.
He would bulk everybody. That's why when we go down to play Tennessee's or you play the Floridas,
you can't keep up with them.
They're fast as hell. Blake Corn put on 10 pounds of muscle, and to me, looked a little stiff.
Half step slow.
100%. 100%. Last year, even when he had the ankle injury, he was fast last year, even with the ankle injury. Yes, on Saturday, he looked stronger, but he looked a little bit slower. I didn't like how that looked.
I don't look. I think when it's all said and done, hopefully they work it out. I'm not as confident that they'll be able to work out their run game like I am.
Yeah. You got Donovan Edwards.
But the problem, not the problem, here's the hope, is that with JJ at quarterback, those guys are going to be so focused on this crazy slinging around offense that you don't
you slip in some open spaces.
You can't stick.
Is he the fastest guy on the team?
Last year he was.
McCarthy.
No. I think Corum was.
No, it's
Sanders still?
Sanders still, Roman Wilson. It's Roman Wilson. Yeah, it's Roman Wilson, Sanders still, and AJ Henning.
I'm just saying, JJ's got wheels.
No, he definitely can run. Because you're talking about when he caught Corum in the Big Ten championship. Like, he's got some wheels, but Roman Wilson and Baldwin, I think, are the fast. Sanders still.
Yeah, guys. So there you have it. With Michigan Wolverines, I think they look solid. A team that I did not think looked as solid.
Fan base went after me again.
Well, there you go. Was the Michigan State Spartans.
Shocking.
We're going to try to have an honest discussion as best we can about the Michigan State Spartans and their win over Western Michigan. We will do that next. But first, a message from Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Come to Lady Jane's for an award-winning haircut experience and your last month to register to win the car of your dreams. From Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac, Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime, no appointment necessary. It's wicked awesome.
Wicked awesome.
It took exploring 50 different formulas and hosting countless taste tests, but we believe Gypsy Vodka is the smoothest vodka on the market. Don't believe us? Ask the owners.
We're Mike and Adam Kazanowski with High Five Spirits Distillery. We're in close to about 1,200 locations throughout Michigan. We wanted to create a brand that was geared more towards freedom, love, adventure, and at the end of the day, we really wanted to tell a story that inspired other people to take risks, follow their dreams, whatever that might be.
Hey, this is Mr. Kearney, Chief Academic Officer, Academy of Warren. I want to welcome you to the brand new field house. The state-of-the-art facility has a regulation basketball court, volleyball court, soccer field. It can be used for 7-on-7 football. Our K-8 academic features AM, PM, latchkey, small classroom sizes, Learning Street, futuristic media center, free breakfast and lunch, Holton Mifflin curriculum, academic games, K-8 athletics, and more. Enroll today at academywarren.net.
Get a shot up. This is for the win. All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
OddsTrader.com, the number one site for your game day best play-by-play updates, live scores, and the best price from every sports book. Period. They have everything you want, all the bets you want to make, all the leagues that you want to go to. They have the bets. If you want to bet Michigan to go 12-0, you can do it there. If you want to bet Michigan State to go 10-2, you can do it there. Whatever you want to do, Odds Trader has it. Simply put, they are the best.
Hey, Rob J on YouTube said 4 games for the transfer. I'm not sure if that's correct. I'm just saying what Rob J said on YouTube.
I do not believe Cade McNamara will transfer this year. So. I just don't believe it.
The biggest reason why I don't think he transfers, if you will, he won the Big Ten championship last year. He was voted captain this year. Some schools, that tradition, it sticks. And in some positions, the quarterback position, the O-line position, I think it means a lot to those guys to stay. He won't leave as a captain of Michigan. It'll be on his mind.
Let me just say this. Let me give you 2 teams.
I would, but
how good would he look in Penn State white? He's better than Sean Clifford.
Nah, no, he's not.
Penn State's terrible.
I think.
How about Iowa?
He's better.
They're
He's
worse.
better than Trappist, whatever I would say. He's better than him.
I'm just saying, if I were him, I'd want to go to another Big Ten school.
I would get the hell out of the Big Ten if I was him. I go somewhere where.
Tulsa.
Exactly. I'll go somewhere like that, or a MAC school, or Tulsa.
That's an insult.
Not necessarily.
Not. You want to play and show your skills. Either way.
Yeah.
I mean, either way. I that's neither here nor there
How
for
about
me. I
Rutgers?
just don't believe it's going to happen. Guys, if you are watching on YouTube, go ahead and hit that like button. Let's get to over 100 likes by the end of this segment. And again, tell a friend about Woodward Sports Network. Subscribe. Over 31,000 strong. Over 31,000 subscribers strong now. There you go. All right, guys. Braylon, Michigan State, a 35-13 win over Western Michigan. Your impression of the Spartans is what?
As soon as I saw that game, I posted, I said, I've seen enough of the secondary. I've seen enough of the offensive line. And I should have added, I've seen enough of that quarterback forever. I said, week 9, welcome home, Paul Bunyan. And the Michigan State fan base went crazy. Let me explain why I said that. When I'm watching this game, I understand early in the season. I understand sometimes, you play a team. Hell, we only beat Western by 14 points, I want to say my sophomore year. But there was no point in that game where I felt as though we were going to lose. There was no point in that game where it looked like we may be in trouble. And with 6 minutes and 28 seconds left in the game, Western Michigan was on a 32-yard line, driving in, only down 8 points. Only down 8 points. Now, breaking it down even further, you're supposed to bully smaller, inferior teams, kind of like 51-7. Western Michigan's offensive line was young and undersized. Their defensive line was young and undersized. Guess what that offensive line for Peyton Thorne looked like? They were going backwards the whole game. How the hell do you allow an undersized Western Michigan D front to push you backwards? In the Big Ten, I saw that. I said, that's a minus. I'm watching Peyton Thorne. This is a guy that battled for the job 2 years ago and won. Last year, he started every game, won 11-3. We said, it looks like he can maybe turn the corner. I actually said Peyton Thorne was better than Cade McNamara. This is a guy that can turn the corner and get better. This year, I didn't see it. I didn't see a guy that was in year 4 or year 3. I saw a guy that still looks insecure in himself, or unsure of himself is the word, not insecure, unsure of himself. In the fourth quarter, you watch a guy throw across his body, throw an interception. It just didn't look like a guy that's leading this Michigan State team. Now, on the defensive side, secondary, they were just out of place in a lot of plays that I saw. That's why I said I don't like the secondary. They do have a really good receiving core. I even said during the game, keep throwing the ball to Keon Coleman. Keon Coleman can be special. Mosley can be special. Hell, Jaden Reed is the returning starting receiver, and he didn't even do anything because those two are that good. Daniel Barker, big tight end. Guy made a hell of a one-hand catch touchdown. It was a nice actual throw by Peyton Thorne. Maybe they'll do some more things with him. Berger, I think, is the best running back of the two. He's better than Broussard, like him. I just think as a whole, it is early in the season, but I did not like what I saw out of the Michigan State Spartans. And their quarterback is the main reason. Their offensive line, their quarterback, I don't think they can get it done. I think they lose 4 games.
Where'd they get Berger from? Wisconsin? The transfer?
Yeah, Wisconsin, yes.
They did it again. They got themselves a great back again. This kid's going to be very good.
But you did see the difference when you have one of the best running backs that Michigan State has ever had.
Yeah.
Last year, have one of the best seasons that the Big Ten has ever seen in terms of K9. A lot of things were covered up last year. That offensive line wasn't that good last year. But you can cover up when a guy can pivot on a dime and run 99 yards the other way. Peyton Thorne wasn't necessarily that good. But when you got a guy in K9 that's running wild on everybody, when you stick it in his stomach, pause, and then you pull it out, everybody is coming up, which make Naylor wide open, Jaden Reed wide open, Mosley wide open. Looks a lot different when nobody's scared because you don't have Cade.
I like Thorne still. I think it's just one game. It's a blip.
I do want to make mention that the AP college football poll is out. Michigan moves up 4 spots from number 8. They're now number 4 in the country. Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State, and Michigan. Clemson, despite the win, drops a spot. Michigan State improves to number 14 on the AP poll. In the AP poll, up from 15. Let me say this about Berger. Really nice player. He is no canine.
100%.
I didn't say he was.
Well, you said they did it again.
Yeah, they did it again. They got a hell of a transfer.
Look, really good back, but I think you're doing K9 a disservice because K9 was one of the best running backs we have seen in a long time in the Big Ten. Really good player. I will tell you, watching that Michigan State game, and again, this is just me. Take it for what it's worth. I saw 4 losses.
100%.
Whereas coming in, thought 2 to 3 losses really, but I don't see them beating Michigan, Ohio State, Wisconsin. I just don't see it. The quarterback. I mean, you're going 12 of 24 against Western.
Yeah.
I mean, you're missing half your passes. I was disappointed in Peyton Thorne. I thought Peyton Thorne was a lot better than that. And I really did. I'm just being honest.
And half of those 12 passes,
I don't know if they'll go to Washington and win.
So Penix is the quarterback now. The transfer from Indiana, he threw for 345 yards this past week at Washington. That's going to be tough. Big Ten struggles on the road. The Big Ten struggles on the road. On the West Coast is what I meant to say. But going back, half of those balls that he completed were 50-50 balls, where the wide receivers is being an athlete. The wide receiver is making the plays. They're going to struggle, and it's going to be tough. Here's another question, Maz. I'm going to pose this to you. So they obviously were up 8, but then they get 2 touchdowns, so they finish, looks like a much better game.
They lost the third quarter.
Exactly. It looks like a lot better than it was. Why was Peyton Thorne? Why was Berger? Why was Keon Coleman? Why was Mosley and Bark? Why were they still in as the clock was running out? They still were running plays with them, like the last 4 minutes of the game. After they got back up, after the final, what was the final score? 35 to
13. Yeah.
After they got up 35, it was like 3 minutes left. They still were in there running plays. I don't understand what Mel Tucker was thinking in that situation. What if one of those guys gets rolled up? What if? Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I mean, when you're a good team, and I think for a lot of people, a lot of Michigan State fans, you believe, and rightfully so, who am I to tell you you're wrong, you believe your team is worthy of winning the Big Ten championship this year. I don't think it's crazy to say that Michigan State fans expect Michigan State to beat Michigan and Ohio State and win the Big Ten championship, or at least compete for a Big Ten championship. When you see that, when you see Western Michigan with the ball in the fourth quarter with a chance to tie in a 1-score game, I think that has to give you some concern.
The only thing, 100%, the only thing that I would give Michigan State fans, I'll give you a glimmer of hope, is the Big Ten as a whole, and I know it's early, has not been impressive so far. There's only 2 teams that impressed me in the Big Ten. Michigan because of their defense, and then what I know to be JJ about to take over, and Wisconsin. And luckily for Michigan, they don't play Wisconsin this year. That's it. Michigan State has a little time. If they get a big win, let's say against Washington, maybe they can start to roll a little bit, because I do like their wide receiver core. I think the offensive line may can figure it out. Peyton Thorne is a vet to a certain extent, so I like that side of things. That's the only glimmer of hope, is the Big Ten as a whole. I do not like outside of Wisconsin and Michigan, and that would be Ohio State.
Are there any honest Spartan fans out there?
No.
Because as I'm sitting here looking at the chat, I mean, I'm just giving you my honest opinion. I mean, Western Michigan had the ball with a chance to tie it in a 1-score game in the fourth quarter. I would have concern if I'm a Spartan fan that has big expectations for my team this year. What was Cade McNamara's trash play? What does that have to do with Michigan State? Cade is trash. We just said
that essentially.
I mean, if you take a look honestly,
they don't
your
listen.
Team. I just think after what I saw, I went from 2-3 losses to a solid 4, maybe even 5-loss team for Michigan State. I think potentially,
Western Michigan's not garbage.
I'm not
They're
saying
ranked 95th in the country.
Well, but
they got a freshman quarterback and an undersigned O-line and D-line.
But Maz, I guess what I'm trying to tell you is Western Michigan's not garbage. But if you want to be one of the big boys,
it's week 1.
If you want to be one of the big boys, you do what Alabama did. You do what Michigan did. You do what Clemson did.
You do what Georgia did.
You do what Georgia did. I'm just saying.
We have sound from Mel Tucker that we're going to play.
Okay.
And he wasn't happy with his team
telling
either.
you, I could see Washington, Minnesota, Ohio State, Wisconsin, Michigan, and Penn State.
So here's the interesting.
There's 6 tough games for the Michigan State there. They're going to win what? 4 of them?
Here's the interesting
3
thing.
of them?
And I had this whole, because obviously you saw what happened when I posted that. It went crazy, which I love. I love waking up to MSU fans being pissed, live rent-free in their head. The problem is when they see us, they don't see analysts, Ryan. They don't see Joe Clay making a comment about Michigan State, which he talked about Michigan State not being good, or them being underwhelming to him, or Gus Johnson, or the list goes on around the country. Even your own alums that work in the city said the same thing, if you catch my drift. They don't see us as analysts. All they see when they see me is 2004 Halloween game, and all they see when they see you is a Michigan homer. So I'm tired of trying to make my analysis dope. I'm gonna say what I say, which is the truth.
And I'm just telling you flat out. I don't care how you see me. I'm telling you, if I'm a Michigan State fan that has visions of winning a Big Ten championship, I watch that game against Western, and I have some concern. That's it. I'm not saying they're trash or they suck. I'm just saying my expectation for Michigan State now is a 4-loss team.
And we do the same thing to Michigan. 4 years ago when Michigan struggled against Army, I went ham online. I dogged Michigan out. I dogged the quarterback. I dogged Michigan out. I'm always getting in trouble. I'm biased. I'm down the book. When you see something, you address it accordingly. And what I saw from Western Michigan and the Michigan State game, I didn't see what I liked in the third and the fourth quarter. They have the opportunity to go in there and tie. Like Michigan State didn't look like they were supposed to look to me, and I just, from my eyes, gave my analysis, just like I would do any other team that I saw that I didn't like. Ohio State won by 11, but I didn't like what I saw of them. They look beatable yet again. That's called analysis, man. You guys got to wake up and stop being so sensitive.
All right, we're going to take a break. Come right back. I do want to go around the Big Ten. What did you see, Braylon? What didn't you see? And college football as a whole. Is it really Alabama, Georgia, and everybody else? Again, we'll talk about that. But first, the message from Chili Pepper Standing.
All right, 27 locations and more on the way, too, right here on beautiful Woodward Avenue. If you join the Pepper Club, you get the cleanest salons in the D and the best deals. They're going to beat any competitor by $5 on unlimited tanning. Plus, you get to meet the Pepper Girls. The hottest bulbs, the hottest deals, and the darkest tans. How about it, huh? Your vitamin D headquarters, ChiliPeppersTanning.com.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Hello? Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
Hi, I'm John from Better Rate Mortgage, and to me, family is more than blood. That's why I have the biggest family in Metro Detroit. If you're looking to buy a house or refinance and need a loan, come get treated better than family by me and our entire team here at Better Rate Mortgage. We pride ourselves on giving you better advice, better service, and a better loan experience. That's why we are Better Rate. If you're looking for a new mortgage, come get treated like family. Actually, better with Better Rate Mortgage. Visit us at mybetterrate.com or call at 248-480-4467 today.
The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network.
For a limited time only, all new burgers and loaded fries only at Big Boys. It's not just a Slim Jim, it's the Big Jim. The chili cheese is such a tease. How about guess what else is new? It's the bacon blue. How about upgrading those fries? Chili cheese fries. I've had those. Picked out of Braylon's. And the baked potato fries, the nacho fries, it's all great. You can even get crinkle fries if you ask really nice. All at Big Boy. Satisfy those taste buds today at Big Boy.
too inconsistent right now with what we're doing, and some of the things, even though there was some good things that we saw out there, I saw out there on the tape, our overall play was unacceptable. So we're back at practice. We're back at practice today. This morning, just finished up a little bit ago. We're just challenging everyone in the organization to to get uncomfortable and attack this week, and we need to get to the next level of our intensity, and we need to prepare to play 60 minutes this week. Not 10 or 20 or playing spurts. We just have to raise our level of intensity of what we're doing.
That audio of Mel Tucker from our former intern. Oh, and is he still our intern, Matt?
He works with us.
Works with us.
Yeah.
All right. And Spartan Vision. What is Spartan Vision, Maz?
That's the company he works for over there. They do a great job, led by Lori Ann Dickerson.
Look at that, Lori Ann Dickerson.
You guys don't know what Spartan Vision is? That's what the Spartan fan base does. They only watch the game through their own eyes, not the truth.
My daughter Lily is part of that big network.
That's awesome. I love that. And look, that's Mel Tucker's honest assessment of the game. I don't think we said anything that Mel Tucker didn't say about his own football team, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
Braylon, Big Ten as a whole, just big picture observations. I didn't think Ohio State looked all that great. Really shocked about what that offense looks like without Jackson Smith and Jigba. Iowa, what in the world? Kirk Ferentz may be the most overrated coach in the United States of America, and always has been. Wisconsin, I don't know what you can deduce from them other than they just do what they do. Indiana and Maryland all won. Really ugly conference.
How about Rutgers?
It's a very ugly conference
they beat
right now.
BC, yeah.
Only nice thing about the conference is only 2 teams have lost to the conference. So other than that's the positive thing. Just not really high on the Big Ten right now. You're talking about Wisconsin. The good thing for Wisconsin is they got, guess what? Another running back that looks good. B. Allen had 148 yards and 2 touchdowns. So that spells well for them. Also, Mertz. One thing about Wisconsin quarterbacks, I'm talking about throughout the years, they struggle with turnovers. That was the big thing with Mertz last year and the year before. Wednesday, Saturday, not so much. 14 for 16, 200 yards and a touchdown. So that spells well for them in terms of taking care of the football, although it was Illinois State. On the Ohio State side of things, defense looks a little better than I thought they were in terms of the D front. That D front did look a little better. They had 4 sacks in that game. So watch out for them. Eichler was pretty good out there. That did look good. But like you said, Jackson Smith and Jigba going out with the hamstring. And you thought the next guy was going to step up, and it just looked like CJ wasn't the same without having Jackson Smith and Jigba. But hey, if the guy's up for a Heisman and he's not in there, they're going to struggle a little bit. But the thing that saves them is the running game. Mayan Williams still had 98 yards, and then Travion Henderson still had 84. They still go for over 300 yards rushing in that game. So got to be mindful of that. I just think right now, man, Big Ten's it's a 3-team race right now. Wisconsin, Ohio State, and Michigan after one.
And obviously Michigan, Ohio State will beat each other up throughout the year. Michigan State, Penn State. I mean, there is nobody on the left side of the Big Ten that can compete with Wisconsin. There's just not. I mean, and then you look at the Big Ten East. I mean, again, with Ohio State, Michigan State, Penn State. I mean, hell, even Indiana is going to give people some headaches with their offense a little bit, perhaps, maybe. I could be stretching it a little bit there. Stretch it with Indiana.
Minnesota, there you go.
Minnesota. I mean, Minnesota's a decent team. They have the best running back in the conference.
Ibrahim, he got injured last year. The year before that, he won the Big Ten in terms of running back of the year in the Big Ten. He tears his Achilles last year. He comes back, and he finishes off he starts right where he finished off when he messed up his Achilles last year. So Minnesota could be an interesting team. They could be an outlier for that whatever the left side.
Don't sleep on Rutgers, too.
Oh, Lord.
I know they're on the Michigan side.
Look, I love Rutgers. I love Greg Schiano.
Don't laugh, Sam. Sam, they're not going to win. But I'm saying watch out for them.
They're going to be
Sam's laughing at me.
They're going to be a pesky team. Like a Greg Schiano team is going to fight you to the end. You don't want any business to teams like that.
They chop over there, too.
Yeah, they do.
His thing is keep chopping.
Schiano coming.
Yes,
for
Yano
sure.
coming.
Yes, he is. There's no doubt about
At least somebody
that.
is.
Absolutely. Guys, we're going to take a break. We want to get into some Lions talk next.
Ooh, Lions.
We'll circle back to some college football because I do want to comment on the expansion of the playoffs.
The format now.
Not again.
New format.
I'm only joking.
I'm
I'm
excited about it. More football. We'll see what happens. Will it happen in 24? Will it happen not till 26? We'll talk about that. But first, Detroit Lions, baby. I'm going to tell you why they're going to win that opener against Philly again. But first, a message from Cintron.
You're killing me with these Lions in this Philly game, man. Cintron is the official energy drink of the Red Wings. That's right. Time to get energized. Limited edition 6-pack. Talking about cranberry, sugar-free, and the old classic. CintronWorld.com/Red Wings is where you can get this product. Cintron is a great product. I use it when I'm going on the show. You got to have some energy if you want to keep it around your money. Cintron allows me to do that. Proud partners with the Red Wings, the Pistons, and the Tigers. Drink it, live it with Cintron.
New to the game or a season better? OddsTrader.com has everything you need to make the right bet ahead of kickoff. Begin your handicapping journey with OddsTrader. Improve your edge by finding the best price on every game from sportsbooks in your backyard. Take advantage of the numerous sign-up bonus offers to pad your bankroll. Dive into key game statistics, player performance, and even account for the projected game day weather. Best of all, you can use the OddsTrader bet tracker to keep a log of your action. Welcome to OddsTrader, and best of luck.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan. Woo!
With 26 locations in the Metro Detroit area and more coming, Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D. Join the Pepper Club for the best deals on unlimited tanning. Head to chilipepperstanning.com.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
The Monroe Street Midway is open until September 25th. You still have time to experience Detroit with roller skating, mini golf, art, live music, food trucks, and more. A fun, safe event for everyone between the ages of 1 and 100. Go to deckedoutdetroit.com for more info. See you at the Midway.
I feel like we have the right guys. It's the right 53, and I feel like our strength is really exactly that. It's the 53 plus that 16-man practice squad. So I think that is our strength. I don't think you can just point at one thing, one player, and say this is who we are. No, and I think it's kind of unique that way. I appreciate that, and I think our guys do. They know the strength of what we are is our team, and as long as we hold on to that, I think we'll be more than competitive.
And they are hoping to be much more competitive this year than they were a year ago. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards, Tom Mazawey, Fletcher, Flannel here as well. It is Tuesday, September 6th. Ermanni and Edwards with Maz talking Lions now. Look, I'm very excited about this team. Obviously, one of the big sticking points this year was staying healthy throughout the preseason and into the regular season. And they did that relatively speaking, except the right guard, Vaitai, out 4 games now minimum. Looks like he could be out for the season. This was just a procedural thing where they put him on PUP, injured reserve.
And they still haven't played together yet.
Absolutely. 0 snaps this offensive line played together last year, and that will continue into this year. Tommy Kramer in the starting right guard position now.
The former Viking quarterback from the 80s?
No, on the depth chart.
And that's not a bother for you, the right guard being out?
Look, as long as Decker, Ragnow, and Sewell are there, I think they can survive. I think they can survive.
Survive is what? The only thing, the way I look at it is you look last year in the playoffs, Tom Brady was minus some offensive linemen, and where he struggled is in the interior. And that's where Vaitai comes in, right there in that right guard position. Because you're talking about a guy in Jared Goff. Jared Goff's not moving out of the pocket. Jared Goff isn't the guy that's going to play on the run or escape that, that would be interior pressure. So when you get a guy like Jared Goff that's standing in there, and you got a guy that's gone down in Vitae, I don't know how good Kramer is. We will see, open and wait. But I just think that's an easy spot for guys to come in, and then a guy like Jared Goff that's not mobile could lead to some sacks.
But let's be honest here, Bray. I mean, you played in the NFL for 9 years. For a team to go through camp and be totally unscathed just doesn't happen. I mean, is there a team right now in the National Football League that all 22 starters coming into the season that you thought would be the starters are the same 22 at the end of training camp and into the regular season? As far as injuries go, this to me is one that you can survive. You can't survive one to the quarterback.
Yeah.
You could barely survive one to Swift. It's not one of the tackle positions. Nobody on defense, heaven forbid, right now. I mean, relatively unscathed here. You have to assume some injury, and this to me is one they can overcome.
I agree. They relatively unscathed. I definitely agree. This, if you want anybody to get injured, you will. In this area would be a good place to get injured. But you're still talking about a team that struggled last year. You're still talking about a team that, a lot of people are picking to go 6 wins. You're talking about a team that's trying to get it together. And their best position was the offensive line position that's going to protect Jared Goff, that's going to block for DeAndre Swift and Jamal Williams. So to see that, just a cause for concern for me, that's all.
Captains named today as well: Jared Goff, Frank Ragnow, Michael Brockers, Alex Anzalone, guy who wasn't even going to be on the team this year at the end of last season. Tracy Walker re-signed to the big free agent contract, and Josh Woods. Braylon, I saw this captaincy here. What's your?
Why so many captains?
6.
Why so many? 2
offensive, 2 defensive. Well, 4 defensive.
Yeah, I've never seen this many captains. In all the years that I've played, the most that I've seen, I saw 4 once. I think we had 4 captains when I was with the Jets for a year 2, because we had, LaDainian Tomlinson, so they had to make him a captain. Jason Taylor, then Mark Sanchez was a captain, and I think Nick Mango. So we had 4. 6 captains, that's a lot.
I saw this and I was just kind of like, okay. What does I understand it's a hell of an honor. I guess it'd be a hell of an honor in the NFL too. And college, I would assume this is a huge honor. But really in the NFL, what does a captaincy mean to an NFL team?
It still means a lot, man. Like when you're able to look back and say, I was a captain of an NFL team, I was chosen once again. I was chosen by a team of my peers. You guys go through a lot. You guys, have family together, you got family outings together, you guys spend a ton of time off season, be it OTAs, training, mini camps, summer. You guys go through cuts together, etc. So to be announced the captain, I think it's always gonna be something cool. Like it's never just But when you have 6, then it makes it like, Like usually, if you got a quarterback,
well, you've got the 2 offensive captains, 3 defensive captains, and then Josh Woods, the special teams captain. But again, 3 defensive captains I mean, I understand the green dot,
right?
Anzalone will probably wear the green dot, but Brockers is the captain. Anzalone and Tracy Walker. You got a captain for every level of the defense.
That's okay. Big deal.
I know, it's
big
fine.
deal. It's Dan Campbell, and the rest of that coaching staff stepping up and just giving their appreciation to these guys.
Fine. I mean, it's fine.
These guys are their leaders. That's what they give the C to. That's it.
But now, before games, you have to see 6 people come all the time. That's a lot of people.
Or maybe they do. You get this game. You 2 get this game. You 2 get this game. You 2 get that game.
Makes sense. It's fine. All right, Braylon. Last week you asked me, what in God's name? Why would I think that the Detroit Lions would have a snowball's chance in hell of beating the Philadelphia Eagles in Week 1? I have found those statistics. Are you ready for me?
No.
The longest Week 1 winless streaks in the NFL, Cleveland, 17 in a row. They have lost 17 straight Week 1 games. You see there in number 2? The Philadelphia Eagles lost 9. They are on the list. Not current. It's not a current streak, but they are on the list. And I just thought that spoke volumes for historically Even if it was a 1968
it's 46
to 70
years ago.
That's okay. It's okay.
46 years ago,
it's
right?
History.
Exactly. It is history.
It's history. It's history. So they are.
You know what this is called? This is called a reach.
That's a reach.
This is
called
a reach. 9 in a row they have lost in their history. But Jared Goff, 5-0 against the spread in Week 1 games.
A reach.
Oh,
that is
right.
not a reach. That is active. Jared Goff plays close games in Week 1, so they're a 4-point underdog.
Right.
So they're saying
Why
this
so low?
They're saying this game is going to be played within a field goal and a half.
You know what? The first one was a reach.
Can I say this?
Yeah, you please.
I'm going to backtrack here. I thought this was current when I initially said it.
Thank you.
But it's fine. Even I make mistakes, ladies and gentlemen. I thought this was a current list.
Hey, you know what? It is okay.
But when I saw that it was 1968 to 76, I went with it anyway.
It's a-okay. It was
Conviction.
a reach. It's a reach, and at least you apologize for it. The second one, okay. I can give you a little bit of that. Against the spread, close game. It's going to be a close game. That's what you think. I'm okay with that. It's going to be a blowout. It's going to be a blowout. I'm going with the Eagles. Every day, I lean more and more in terms of upping my points. Because originally I had this game, I said, they'll probably win by 2 touchdowns. Then I was like, well, maybe 17. Now I'm like 21. By the time the game starts, I'm like, it might be 24. I just think
could be a situation like last year against San Francisco, where it was like 41-13, and then the Lions made some furious comeback. Had the ball, I think, with a chance to tie.
They did.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. I think you just look at this team, the Eagles team, all the way around. You look at that defensive line. Defensive line was going to be mean. They're even improved for where they were last year with the additions of Jordan Davis. I think that secondary is going to be the lights out over there as well. And then you look at the offensive side of the ball. The best offensive line in a lot of rankings in the NFL. You look at the running back, Miles Sanders. They had the best rush offense in the NFL last year. You look at the wide receiver positions. You look at the tight end. A.J. Brown just got paid. It's Friday night. It's time to show people why you got paid. It's trying to show people.
You know what time
Tennessee.
it is.
It's time to stick it to Tennessee. So y'all didn't want to pay me. Y'all want to bring in Traylon Burks. Got something for you. Devontae Smith. Now that he's got a guy on the opposite side. Now that he's got a guy that can be a comparison to. Now you got a guy that can help you out. Devontae Smith can get busy, get loose. And there's something about Jalen Hurts. He is resilient. He is a leader. I can only see him getting better and better. I'm telling you, this Philly team, I'm not saying they're going to beat the Lions because I'm saying they're going to beat the Lions. I don't think the Lions are going to be good. I'm saying they're going to beat the Lions because I got them in the NFC Championship. Like, this team is that good. Jalen Hurts, he's going to take that next step this year.
That's good.
Yeah.
I'm glad you got him in the finals. I'm glad that Jalen Hurts is going to take a next step. But they beat this team like a dog last year. They rubbed their noses in crap. They stepped all over him. Dan Campbell remembers that, and he mentioned it. The players remember it.
Write a picture.
I'm just telling you. You don't do that twice in a row to someone at home. The Lions are going to win this game, flat out.
I think this was the game last year that catapulted Dan Campbell into calling the Lions plays on his own.
No, this was late.
Was it?
Yes, it was late.
No, it might have been it.
I got to look at that.
This was like week 9 last year, like right around then, and I think that's around what happened. But the reason why I look at it like this, man, is I understand what you're saying. Like, when you get roughed up by somebody, you remember that.
Yeah.
You know, you take a picture of it and say, hey, look, remember this, circle this. So I give you that. But it's the additions to the team. Bradbury is added to the secondary.
I know.
You bring in Nakobe Dean, who's about to be named the starter. You bring in Jordan Davis and throw him next to Fletcher Cox and throw him next to Brandon Graham. Then you go on the opposite side. You had A.J. Brown. It's not like you added a guy that was cool. You added a stud and A.J. Brown as your wide receiver to go on the opposite side of Devontae Smith. I'm telling you, they are much improved, and they were already on their way last year. So, I mean, we'll see.
Dan Campbell did take over calling the plays in Week 10 of the NFL.
Wow.
That was after the Week 8 loss against Philadelphia, followed by a Week 9 bye week.
Yeah.
And then he took over Week 10 against Pittsburgh. I think there's a lot to be said about that. Will he continue to take over the plays? He mentioned that. You'll hear about it next. But first, a message from Guardian Alarm. They're your local security experts, have been for over 90 years. You see that black and yellow sign out in front of your house, it tells the bad guys one thing:
stay out.
Whether you're home or on the road, they're 24/7 local monitoring. Make sure what is important to you stays safe. Call that number right now, 1-800-STAY-OUT. That number again, 1-800-STAY-OUT. Call them right now. Tell them Woodward Sports sent you. We'll be right back. Dan Campbell.
He's going deep, right side. Oh, that is Edwards out there. He goes up in the air at the goal line.
Hey, it's Braylon Edwards here, wanting to welcome the sports marketing agency to Woodward Sports Network, to the family. Glad to have you guys. For the last decade, the sports marketing agency has literally leveraged athletes around issues such as mental health and substance abuse.
Glad that we can finally start trying to get the stigma off of mental health that's been there for all these years.
When you need apparel, there's only one place to go. Big Frog in Novi. With no setup fees, no artwork fees, no minimum, and a 24-hour turnaround, you can have your whole team outfitted in no time. Embroidery, direct-to-garment, vinyl, and screen printing, Big Frog has it all in all the styles you want. So whether it's a sports team, fundraiser, school event, or corporate needs, Big Frog is your one-stop destination. Visit bigfrog.com/Novi or call 844-4-BIG-FROG.
Make sure you're listening to Woodward Sports all day long. Start your morning with the Morning Woodward Show. Spend middays with Big D Energy. Watch and listen your drive home with the Bottom Line. And don't forget about Woodward Bets Daily. All live, all right here on the Woodward Sports Network.
I'll be honest with you, I'm just not quite there yet. I mean, I still have this eagerness to want to call it myself, and so I'm just, man, it's going to be, I don't know. It's going to be good.
And that was Dan Campbell talking about whether or not he is going to call the plays this year. It was after the Philadelphia game last year that Dan Campbell took over those play calling duties, relieving Anthony Lynn of that responsibility. I think Dan Campbell should call the plays.
No.
He's the head coach. If he is a little leery about passing these duties off, you got to just do it yourself. And every great leader does one thing well. They make decisions. I'm surprised Dan Campbell has not made a decision one way or another, good or bad in this case. I'm actually really surprised by that, because you have to have some sort of conviction in the decision-making process. Again, every great leader just makes a decision. I'm surprised he's wavering here.
I disagree with you on him should call the plays. The only headmen that call plays from the offensive standpoint are offensive geniuses or gurus. Sean Payton, offensive genius. Andy Reid, offensive genius. Sean McVay and what he's done out there. These guys are
Shanahan.
like Shanahan. That's what they do. That's what they're born into. They're not only the head coach, that's where their knowledge is. That's where their thoughts. That's how they first got into the game. Dan Campbell, he's learned under some individuals. I will give you that. Parcells. He's learned under Sean Payton a little bit. But he hasn't learned necessarily how to be an offensive genius, and he's also focused on the defensive side, the offensive side. He's all over the place with his energy. I would prefer him to focus his energy on the whole of the team and let Ben Johnson take over and focus on the offensive play call.
We talk about it with quarterbacks all the time. If you make a mistake, you've got this guy or that guy behind your shoulder just waiting for you to take over. Is that going to be the same case with Ben Johnson? I mean, is Ben Johnson going to be able to call the game that he wants to call without Dan Campbell taking over the play calling responsibilities? And I'm asking the question. I don't know what this is. This is a very unique situation where I think a head coach would like to call the plays but doesn't want to call the plays, wants to give the OC the responsibilities. Because how many times do you have a quarterback controversy and that quarterback is trying not to make a mistake? Is this the same kind of scenario where the offensive coordinator, Ben Johnson, might not call the game he wants? He might call the game that he thinks Dan Campbell wants.
Well, he shouldn't do that. And Dan Campbell, they should have a conversation. They should throw that out there, and they should put that to rest soon. Give Ben Johnson the job. The thing I say about that is, you're trying to take a huge leap this year. You got him winning 10 games. A lot of people now have no winning 9 game. You're trying to take that leap. Eventually, Jameson Williams will be a part of this team. Eventually, you will have to get the ball down the field to Hockenson and DJ Chark and Amon-Ra St. Brown. And what type of plays are you going to call for DeAndre Swift? What type of pass plays? What type of screens? What type of nuances are you going to put in? That offense didn't look like anything that was winning 10 games last year. And if you're keeping him as the same guy that called offensive plays last year, that was Dan Campbell, then that's going to take this team back. And I stand by my only 6 wins. I might take it to 5 if he called plays all season.
Why did you even bring Ben Johnson in then to run the offense? You got to give it to the young guy. Now listen, Anthony Lynn was around for a long time. So maybe it passed him by calling plays.
Yeah.
But this is your new guy. This is your new Cadillac. And you heard him on Hard Knocks. How special supposedly Ben Johnson is and how he knows this roster and how he knows this offense and how it should run and how he relates to the players. This should not even have been a decision. This should be done.
It's 2022. Look at the successful teams in the NFL from the offensive standpoint. Look at Cincinnati and what they're doing down there. They got 3 wide receivers, a tight end, 2 running backs. They get freaky and jiggy with the ball. They get freaky with the play calling, the things they do, the nuances for Jamar Chase, Tyler Higgins, like what they do. T. Higgins. They get nasty out there with the play call, and they get insightful. They get very ingenuitive. Same with Sean McVay, what they were doing with the offense, and Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp before they got injured. And then you go to, the list goes on with the Chiefs. Look at what the Dallas Cowboys are doing with Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb and Cedric Wilson and Jr. and Amari Cooper, who's no longer there. Like, this is the wave of the NFL. It is no longer 2 wide receivers, 2 tight ends, and running the ball. Like, that's not going to get the job done. That's not going to get the 10 wins that you need, Ryan Ermanni. And until Dan Campbell shows me different, he's not a guy that I believe is on the wave of how the offense is moving in 2022
Listen,
in the NFL.
I don't disagree with you guys at all about this. I'm surprised it hasn't been Ben Johnson. I'm just saying, if Dan Campbell has not made his mind up and it's Tuesday of game week, what more does he need to know? I mean, you've been with the guy the entire offseason, all the training camp, all the preseason. What more do you need to see to make this decision or not? And you can't be half pregnant. You can't just say, I think you... Just call the game then, dude. Just call it. Make the decision. That's all I'm saying.
Can't be
then why even have him?
Well, is
he going to stay?
You have the offensive coordinator to have an offensive game plan to design the plays, be the designer of the plays and the offense.
The reason why you have him is because Dan Campbell is a head coach.
To coordinate.
A head coach has a ton of responsibility throughout the course of a week. Whether it's, overseeing the defensive coordinator, whether it's overseeing the offensive coordinator and the special teams guy and checking on certain players and certain things and certain issues and certain whatever, the mindset of like all of that, preparing the speeches each day and, how I'm going to talk to them this way, how are we going to slate practice this way. That's why it's the offensive coordinator's job to focus on the offensive side of things. It's the special teams coach to alleviate the head coach to having to worry about special teams. It's the defensive coordinator's job to alleviate the coach to have to worry about defense. And I think that's where you got to use them, because you're going to have too much, especially if this isn't your wheelhouse anyway.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm surprised by this.
Me too.
Nonetheless,
Big time.
I am surprised.
Shouldn't
by
be talking about this the game week of.
What effect does that have on Jared Goff?
Maybe none.
Maybe none. It's probably just something that we fill time with.
Correct.
Maybe for 10 minutes on a Tuesday.
What the hell do we know?
Meanwhile, the quarterback is out there being like, I don't know, they're both going to call the same game. You know what I mean?
Something to talk about.
They're both locked in. They're gonna call the same game. Maybe we don't know what we're talking about. I don't know. I'm asking the question.
We're just speculating and having conversation, like you said. Like, we're on the outside. We don't know what's going on behind closed doors at Allen Park. Just like we didn't know what was going on behind closed doors down in Tampa. But everybody had a speculation. Everybody said, "Oh, it's probably this with Tom Brady. Oh, it's probably that. It's probably this. Well, he needs to be here." And then you start having the conversation. We did him so dirty in that conversation, by the way. The fact that we were talking about Tom Brady needs to be there, he should be there, why is he missing? He's got 7 rings. Everybody relax.
You know what I will say, just speaking about the Lions, I kind of forgot that Hard Knocks is tonight.
It's the last one.
I know it's the last one for Hard Knocks.
I was over it three episodes ago.
Well, I mean, not that I was over it because it does take you in. It just feels like everything now is just all done.
Yeah.
You know, you feel like, Maz, you had a good thing. Why not just have an hour and a half last week and end it? But again, it's the way the NFL schedule changed. It's the way, they buy 5 episodes, right? I mean, you get 5 episodes, you got to put them somewhere. But it feels like because we know what the cuts are, we know who's back in the practice squad, it does take a little bit of the surprise element out of it.
They should have started it a week earlier, perhaps.
Maybe,
and I'm telling you, they missed out by they did not concentrate on many players.
Mm-hmm.
And what I mean by that is you didn't go inside the homes of these players like in the past when it really was hit you home. When it makes my wife want to watch Hard Knocks. She wants to know the guys, who's he dating, look at his kids. How did he get there?
Yeah.
Who's his classmate, his schoolmate? Oh, wow, those two guys went to school together. You didn't get much of that.
No.
You really did not.
I get that, but one big thing too, we talk about it, is on this season, the Detroit Lions, and this is no slight to the Detroit Lions because there are some future stars,
star power
in the making. It's a star power. Like when you think about the classic Hard Knocks or the past Hard Knocks, like if you think about your favorite, was the Baltimore Ravens. Oh my God!
I think Houston was a good one
you think
too,
about
with
the Dallas
JJ and D-Hop.
There you go. That's star power right there, Deshaun. And then you go to Dallas Cowboys. Both times they were on it. Star power. Even the Bengals, to a certain extent, had some star power. But with the Detroit Lions, like after you finish talking about Aiden Hutchinson, who's an incoming rookie, and after you talk about Jared Goff, who had star power 4 years ago, it's like, who are we talking about?
I want to talk about the NFL next, 2 days away from the season starting. Could this be the greatest Week 1 slate of games that we have seen in quite some time? We'll go there next. But first, a message from Gypsy Vodka.
Your officially drink of the summer. Now it's fall. It's still the drink. The Mulligan by Gypsy Vodka. Amazing product. 8% alcohol seltzer. And every time I tell you this, be careful. It's not a fiber. It is an 8. Adam and Mike got it right yet again, supporting Michigan Distillers. Petoskey, Michigan. Love it up there, man. Boeing Mountain. Iced tea, lemonade, mango are the flavors. Remember to drink responsibly when you're drinking on the golf course, at home for the barbecue. Wherever you're going to do it, drink responsibly.
Detroit's downtown summer playground is back. Open all summer long, the Monroe Street Midway. Enjoy roller skating, free Wi-Fi, food trucks, art installations, and so much more. Don't forget to take advantage of the basketball court, putt-putt, and, of course, family programming all summer long. All art installations are done by Detroit artists, and it's a fun, safe event from people 1 to 100. Go to deckedoutdetroit.com.
3 NBA championships. Detroit fans were there. 11 Stanley Cups. Detroit fans were there. 4 World Series wins. Detroit fans were there. And that one Lions playoff win in 1991. Yeah, Detroit fans were there. Woodward Sports, where the fans are. A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man-meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Are you interested in expanding your career and
Yes,
making
sir.
a difference in your community?
Very much so.
Academy of Warren is hiring for professionals that have a passion for working with students in the K-8 department and more. For more information on how to apply, call us at 586-552-8010. We are AOW.
There you go, Academy of Warren. We are big supporters of that place and Mr. Kearney. Also big supporters of the NFL. It gets going 2 days from today. Buffalo and LA, the defending Super Bowl champs. Could it be a preview of the Super Bowl? My goodness, how great is this going to be?
How great is it going to be when Odell Beckham comes back in January?
He got his locker.
We were talking about that. We were talking about where do you potentially see Odell Beckham playing. I said he's either not going to play or he's going to play for the Rams. I think it's the most sound and safe pick. But it's going to be a great game, man. It's early. Get a chance to see Josh Allen. Yeah, you got a little picture of Odell Beckham right here. The Rams have a locker ready and waiting for OBJ. Will that help them keep DBs or keep dibs on him if another team decides to aggressively pursue him before the Rams do? Getting back to the game, but this is going to be a huge game. You know, I think is under the most pressure in this game. Like it's one person. It's
Josh Allen.
It's Josh Allen.
Absolutely.
It's Josh Allen. Matt Stafford, he can do what he wants to now. He won his championship. Obviously, you want to see him have some success and do it again, or get close again. He got his chip. Like Josh Allen, this is his go time. Like you've been talking about Josh Allen for 2 years now. People are clamoring for him to be the #1 quarterback in the league. The best odds to win MVP are on Josh Allen. They were this close last year to being in the AFC Championship game.
Braylon,
it's here.
I'll step in for you.
What are you going to do?
People are handing Josh Allen the MVP trophy, and they're handing the Buffalo Bills the Super Bowl championship.
Last time I checked,
trophy.
the Bills weren't in the AFC Championship last year.
That's exactly right. I think all the pressure this entire season is squarely on the Buffalo Bills. Everything else is gravy. Even I would say that Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills have more pressure than Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers.
They have no pressure.
Aaron Rodgers?
They don't have any pressure.
Yeah, maybe not. Maybe not. I just think that
Little
Buffalo
bit.
and Josh Allen has all the pressure. Not Tom Brady, not Matt Stafford, not Russell Wilson. It is Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. People have handed that Lombardi trophy to the Bills.
Do you see the spread?
No.
The Bills are favored over the Rams in LA.
There you go. That makes our point.
Makes our point.
I mean,
2.5.
That makes our point.
Amazing.
Right?
And then you keep adding new players. You bring in Von Miller to beef up that defense, to provide some leadership, some experience. He's been there at Super Bowl twice, Super Bowl MVP once. You added him. You've added some good draft picks as well. This has got to be the year. You got to get it done this year, because if you don't get it done, say, all right, this team is just a really good first round of the playoff team. But Maz, I disagree with you guys about Green Bay. There's pressure on Green Bay from this standpoint.
I agree there's pressure.
Oh, yeah,
just not as much as Buffalo.
Oh, hell no, not nearly as much as Buffalo. That's my point. It's depth, because I'm like, 3 years in a row you go 13-3. Well, technically 13-4 last year, but 3 years, 13 wins. First round exits in the playoff, back-to-back MVPs, all that. There's a lot of pressure on Aaron Rodgers.
Let me ask you guys this: out of all the games this week, and let's put the schedule up, Fletch. I'm going to ask you guys this question.
Okay.
Just give me, and Sam, you're in too. Give me one sure winner, straight up. If you're in
San Francisco.
if you're in an elimination,
no, never mind.
If you're in an
'Cause
elimination pool,
right.
The elimination pool is you get to pick one game a week,
Broncos.
and you can't pick any more. You can't pick. So you think the Broncos are a lock
to beat Seattle
on Monday Night Football?
Hell yeah.
I think so too. Broncos.
That team
Broncos.
is loaded.
If you're telling me in a survivor pool, which one I'd go, the Broncos.
Really?
Or Indianapolis.
Or the Ravens.
Indianapolis, they lost to Jacksonville last year.
I know, but they got a new quarterback this year.
They cost me my elimination.
I know, but they got a new quarterback this year.
Well, you know who my lock is.
One win.
It's the Eagles.
Okay.
It's the Eagles line, but if I don't want, let's say I let some of what Ryan is spewing seep into my mind, I would choose the Broncos.
So think of this.
I'm taking Russell over
Go
Seattle.
game to game. Saints Falcons. That's a dead even game. I know Saints are probably going to be the favorite. Falcons are home, and they always play tough against New Orleans.
I mean, it's hard to take a road team in an eliminator bracket, right?
Yeah, it is.
But there is only I don't think there's a home team on the schedule.
Here, I'll help you out.
I'd maybe say Miami, to be honest.
Patriots?
Yeah.
Seattle just named Geno Smith the king of the north.
Braylon, you're right.
It's the Broncos.
He won a Monday night game last year.
No.
He won a Monday night game last year.
Congratulations, Trent Dilfer did once upon a time.
Mass, it's the Broncos.
I'm not waiting.
Russell Wilson go back to
I'm not waiting
Seattle.
until Monday night to have my winner.
You want to really separate yourself
You know
into
who
an eliminator pool?
I took Baltimore, but they're on the road at the Jets.
Yeah, but what's his name might not be in the game, right?
Lamar
I mean, you're
Jackson.
talking about Flacco starting
Yeah,
there?
he is going to start.
Yeah, so you
Which is
really
the
want to
whole team, though.
really want to go against the grain?
Yeah.
Lions.
Are you nuts?
I am nuts.
I would never pick
nuts.
them.
I am crazy, but the Lions week one.
Thank God you don't gamble.
I'm telling you, the Lions, they're going to win this game. They're going to win this game. I would take them in my eliminator.
You're out of your freaking mind.
I know, but at least it's the truth.
The Redskins, the Commanders will be my second choice.
Yeah.
Washington at home against Jacksonville.
Washington.
Sam, who you like here, man?
I would
One winner.
I would say 49ers over Bears. The Bears are not very good. I don't think Justin Fields will get the correct tutelage under a defensive coach in Matt Eberflus. And the San Francisco 49ers might have the best roster in the NFC. I think they might represent the NFC in the Super Bowl.
They have Trey Lance, man.
Hey, but
untested.
Hey, that's very true, but Trey Lance has a lot of tools in his tool belt that Jimmy Garoppolo did not have. And Jimmy G, he's always there just in case Trey Lance goes down or
he's
struggles.
Not ready
so
yet.
Hey, Sam.
I got San Francisco.
Hey, Flannel Sam, there's a reason they brought Jimmy G back to the 49ers and restructured this deal so he could be sitting in the wings. There's a reason. If Trey Lance was that dude, then they would have got rid of. They wouldn't even have brought him back to restructure if he was really that dude.
I get that.
Facts. Now, this is a tough week, is what I'm trying to tell you.
There's so many storylines, too. I guess it's just great storylines.
Well, the NFL turned in. I watched this this documentary.
Baker Mayfield and
that's what I'm saying. I watched this documentary over the weekend on A&E about the making of WrestleMania 1 and all the
Was Tim Donaghy in it?
No, but it was great. This feels like the WWE.
Yeah.
I mean, this feels like Vince McMahon pulling the strings.
Like
to
the
get
WrestleMania card.
Yeah, to get the matchups he wants in week 1. I mean, Buffalo and LA, the best team seemingly in the AFC against the NFC. You've got Baker Mayfield against the Browns. You've got rivalries. I mean, Pittsburgh and the Steelers. You've got
Bengals.
The Bengals. I'm sorry.
It's all right.
Baker Mayfield playing against
you've got the
team that let him go.
Vikings in Green Bay. You've got Tampa and Dallas, Denver and Seattle, Chargers and Raiders.
How about that game from last year? What a repeat.
I think the Raiders are going to not be good this year for some reason.
Really?
I think the Raiders might go 8-9 this year.
Somebody said that earlier today on TV.
Really?
So you're backing off on them.
I am backing off on them because I just don't know if the AFC West gets 4 teams in the playoffs. So it's
never happened before.
It's either the Broncos or the Raiders. To me, is going to be a team left out. I think the Chargers are making that jump this year, and I think the Chiefs will be in the playoffs.
Well, you had the Chiefs as your last place team.
I did. Last place team making the playoffs.
Okay.
You know, last in the AFC West, but still making the playoffs. I'd like to revise that if I could.
Well, you can because you have the Raiders in last.
Yeah.
Now.
I can't wait till we get to the second week in January when we start the playoffs because I'm just really interested to see how it's going to play out this year in the AFC West. Like everybody, when it first happened, when all the trades made, Devontae Adams goes out there, then Russell Wilson goes out there, and then J.C. Jackson goes out there, Khalil Mack goes out there. Like when all this, everybody just instantly, oh man, all 4 teams are going to the playoffs. Oh, look at the quarterbacks, the Derek Carrs and the Justin Herberts. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out because it's the NFL on any given Sunday or Thursday or Monday. It could be real funny if like one of those teams made it. What if only one team made it out of that conference?
Wow. Quickly, give me a Super Bowl winner right now off the top of your head.
Bills.
Ravens.
Baltimore. I was going to say Baltimore too. There's something about Baltimore this
year.
They
need a running game, though.
I just Baltimore to me, Lamar Jackson is.
Why won't they pay him?
Because
something's rotten.
No,
something is rotten.
Because business is real slimy, isn't it?
It definitely is
terrible.
slimy.
I hate it.
John Harbaugh's
hate it.
John Harbaugh's on TV talking about it'll get done and both sides are talking and it's very good and everything. The energy is good. There's no problems. Just you have to come up with a contract that's mutually beneficial for both parties.
Nasty.
When you start saying stuff like that to an individual that's done everything that you've asked him to do, that is elite, that is special, and he's talking about, when the season starts, I don't want to do the deals anymore. Then he may not play week 1. What the hell is going on?
I heard this over the weekend, though, too, and they did the exact same thing with Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco bet on himself, won the Super Bowl that year, and then
they had to pay him.
And then they had to pay him. So this is something that seemingly is part of this organization. It's what they do to their players.
I get that.
They make you.
I get that. Joe Flacco ain't no Lamar Jackson.
I don't disagree with you.
Because Joe Flacco doesn't do anything until that year, and then he had arguably the best playoff run of all time. Lamar Jackson is MVP already. He's the most electric player in the game already.
I don't disagree with you, Bray. I really don't. I want to jump back to college football next. College football playoff format changed. What it would have looked like last year if this would have happened. Pretty interesting stuff. I'm here for it. Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, Woodward Sports Network.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house.
Hello?
Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports. We aren't quite sure if they consume more beer or sports. Either way, the heavyweights are here. Live on Woodward Sports, daily 5 to 7 p.m.
Hey gang, Woodward Sports Network, Ermanni, Braylon Edwards, Tom Mazawey. It happened towards the end of our show on Friday when we were out on location, but the college football playoff is expanding to 12 teams. Quickly, I am for this for a number of different reasons, but first and foremost, I believe this is all about the money. And I was pleased to say, because one of the things that I said on Friday was, I hope they take some of this money and give it to the players.
Yeah.
If you're a player on one of the 12 teams in the college football playoff, you should get a cut of this $2, $3, $4 billion television package deal that they will likely get. And there's no deal that has been made yet, but that's probably the going rate, about $4 billion. Jim Harbaugh actually said that at his weekly press conference yesterday.
He did. He said,
hopes
take it
the
out of
players
that.
get a cut.
Yeah, pay the money out of that.
You did say that.
That takes away from Michigan being responsible for NIL.
Well,
that's why he wants to do it that way.
Well, nonetheless, either way, I mean, you can get paid. I do think the players should get some of this money that they are helping generate. This is what it would have looked like last year. Who wouldn't have wanted to see this? You've got the top 4 teams in the country getting buys, and then 5 through 12 playing each other for a right to get into the quarterfinals, essentially.
You get the top 6 conference winners automatically bid, and then the top 4 with the record of those 6 get the buys.
So there you have it, and I do have it right here before me. I just think this is awesome, and when you look at it too, Braylon, you were talking last week about a no-loss or a one-loss team winning the national championship. And under these scenarios, if you go back to the top 12 teams, there's going to be a 4-loss team that gets in. Is that right or is that wrong? I don't disagree with you on that. But in college football, I mean, most years, if not all of them, you're going to have the best players on the best teams win the national championship. I mean, I just look at week 1 this year, and it just looks like Georgia, Alabama, and everybody else. I mean, as nice as Ohio State's win over Notre Dame was, or Michigan dominating against a nobody, if you look at the college football landscape, I mean, Clemson is number 4, now they're number 5, winning over nobody. I mean, these two teams look unbeatable.
So why have 12 teams? I'm looking at the same. It
so
goes
that more fan bases can be included in the game.
Yeah, I don't want to see Notre Dame. Like right now, I'm just looking at the 12 teams. Notre Dame isn't worthy to be in it to me. Oklahoma isn't worthy to be in it to me. Clemson's going to slide another game. Oklahoma State's going to slide another one. I like Florida. I picked Florida to be a team that made a move because that was unranked. But I'm like, outside of 3 teams, I don't care about anybody else that list.
But again, with this setup, to me, you will have better games longer. In other words,
look at last year. It would have been Baylor against Michigan State in a play-in.
Again, but
that would have been awesome.
But what I'm saying to you is, even you're going to have more players play. Last year in the New Year's Six, which I never even understood the New Year's Six. Like,
it's more money. That's all it is.
I don't even understand what the New Year's Six is. Why do you care what bowl you're in unless it's the college football playoff? What those other 2 games are meaningless. And you know why I know they're meaningless? Because nobody plays in them. K9 didn't play. Yeah. Kenny Pickett didn't play. You are only playing. Your best players are only playing in a bowl game if they're playing for a championship. We saw players miss the freaking Rose Bowl. To us, that's blasphemy. Yeah. To today's college football player, that is business. And unless you're playing for a championship, there's no good players that are playing in these games. I'm sorry. I think with this 12-team format, you'll have the best players playing, and you'll get better games for a longer period of time.
I agree with what you said. The last part, I do agree with that. You'll get better games. You'll get better players playing for a long time. I give you that. But I still don't want that random three-loss team to sneak in there, or that 4-loss team, and somehow get to the national championship, and somehow the number 1 seed loses their quarterback. And now they lose to a freaking 4-loss team. The other part of that, as I lost my train of thought, I had a nice thought about that. We're talking about the playoffs. It'll come back to me in a second.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't. And again, this is
the New Year's Six games. Yeah. Basically, what the New Year's Six games was, before the playoff system, you had the BCS.
Yeah.
So the national championship
1 versus 2.
But exactly, but you're going to get decided out of one of the BCS games, but you still had the BCS games. Those are still the big games. They keep the New Year's Six. That's kind of like the big games. That's their way of keeping the BCS, like the integrity of, like, hey, look, these are the big games. You made it to this game. It's something to tell a recruit. We made the New Year's 6-day game, I guess. It's more of a how it sounds, optics, if you will.
And now the NFL joins you on New Year's Day. So, whatever.
Man.
But I tell you, I would love these undercard play-in games. The top 4 seeds get a break. You get the bye. But the teams fighting to play those teams, that's what I'm coming to see that. Like last year, again, Baylor against Michigan State. That would have been awesome.
How would that? Who was even on Baylor's team last year? Who do you remember on Baylor's team last year?
I don't remember, but
exactly.
I remember them playing. I remember how good they played on television. I loved watching them.
They was all right.
And I liked their coach with the bald head. I thought he was great. I couldn't tell you his name.
One of the things too is I think you'll get some football.
We gotta start doing some more research.
Look, and you could say whatever you want about it. I just don't believe, unless you're Georgia or Alabama, really, that you play your best football. If Michigan played Georgia the week after Iowa or 2 weeks after the Iowa game, I don't think it would have been as ugly. And I'll never be able to prove that.
Right.
I'll never be able to prove that. But I think Michigan, I don't want to say would have had a shot to win. Maybe they would have, maybe they wouldn't, but they would have had a better showing than they did on New Year's Day or whenever that game was played last year. I just don't think you can play your best football a month after you play your last regular season game.
Here's another question: where are these games being played? Because I
not know.
I have a mind to think the top 4 teams that get a bye, they're probably playing on location somewhere. Mm-hmm. So that means like the teams that have to play to get in are getting home games. Like, where are those home games going to be played at? Because it's very interesting to see, all right, yeah, you go down there and play Georgia, or you play Florida, or you play, Alabama down south where their fan bases are or where it's warm. What if they got to come up here and it's cold in December? Like, that's what I want to see. I would be interested in the 12-team playoff just for that reason.
If you play like a little home.
Exactly.
If you get a home playoff game here, if these are played.
I would be interested in that.
At the higher-seeded home field.
Yeah, I like that.
That would be something to see, would it not, Mass?
I would love it.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, the undercard games are what I'm coming to see, because let's face it, the top 4 teams, 2 of them are Alabama and Georgia, and and then it's the rest. You're right, it's the rest.
And I do think with this new expansion, you will have teams schedule at least somebody in the non-conference. I said this last week. If you hate Michigan's schedule, you're a fan of this. I mean, even Michigan State. I mean, Michigan played Washington last year. Michigan State plays Washington this year. I mean, you go Western, Akron, Washington. Michigan goes
Colorado State,
Hawaii, Connecticut. I mean, I wouldn't mind playing a Power 5 conference team. Give me a Virginia Tech or a Virginia or a North Carolina or somebody like that, Stanford.
Yeah, you do that, J.J. McCarthy would have got announced a starter a long time ago. A long time ago.
No doubt about it. So there you go, guys. I wanted to make mention of that.
And I want to play Deion Sanders from last week. We have not played this soundbite. This is Coach Sanders, coaching Jackson State. Deion. And this is how he talks to his team. These are his rules. Coach Prime's rules. If you missed this last week, wanted to play it for you. Check it out.
School, we got school. When we start school today, right? Okay, I want you to listen to me clearly and succinctly. No slides. No slides. No slides. No armpits exposed. No wife beaters. Sit in the front of the classroom and be the perfect gentleman, because when it comes down to it and you need help from that professor, they're going to recall your character and who you've been consistently in that class. No slides, no sleeveless shirts, no armpits exposed, none of that. And make sure you shower before you go to class, and do not, I don't want to get a report that you was in some bull jump with our apparel on represent us. Kids sitting in the back of the class making noise. He was freestyling back to the whole class while I was trying to teach it with Jackson State football shirt on. It's not going to happen. When it get back to me, it's going to get back to your coaches first, but then when it get back to me, it's going to be a problem.
Coach Prime.
It's a man right there. I'd send my kid to play for Deion Sanders, man. Who better to play for than Deion friggin' Sanders?
I love how he said no slides in class, and he has on some clips in the video.
Do as I say, not as I do.
Right.
It's like, no, but you love this
Welcome
stuff.
to the government.
You love this. Coaches are 100%. Coaches are leaders of men. Like I look back on the life lessons that I got from Coach Carr in school. It's good to see that he's giving these kids his lessons, because you need them and you take them with you, and you're gonna win in life when you get a guy like that teaching those kids these type of moral values and these ethics. I love it.
All right, good stuff there, Maz. You like that? You're a fan of Deion?
You know I am.
Deion.
You know I am, man. I mean, geez. What a draft class that was, huh?
Sick.
Where you can get Deion and Barry
Well,
Sanders in one freaking draft.
4 Hall of Famers of the first
And
5
Tony
picks or
Mandarich.
something like
Derek
that.
Thomas was in that draft.
Oh, God. Who are the
That's right.
best free agents out there in the NFL? We'll get to that next. Can anybody help the Lions on this list? But first, a message from SMA.
A sports marketing agency helps spread awareness about mental health and abuse, substance abuse. Their podcast, This is the F Word, and the F Word stands for fentanyl. It's only here to provide you information. It's here to provide you the conversation and knowing what things are, what areas to go, where to get outlets of information, and how to help these problems and these issues. Look, everybody is suffering from something. If it's not you, then it's somebody you know. Well, wouldn't you like to have a place where you can go get information? That's what Sean Jordan and SMA have created. You can go to thesportsma.com very discreetly just to get some information, have the conversation. It is okay to not be okay.
Life is full of hard choices. We're here to make one of life's biggest decisions as simple as possible. My name is Christina Gennari, and for over 20 years, I've helped hundreds of families buy and sell homes. We cover all of Metro Detroit and more, from large luxury homes to starter homes. We will work hard to make sure that you get the home of your dreams. So if you're in the market today or even thinking about buying or selling in the future, make the obvious choice. Christina Gennari, the obvious choice in real estate. Visit us at soldchristina.com today.
Fellas, let's be honest. We like things to be easy. We like simple stuff, like sports 7 days a week. We like things uncomplicated, like Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome. Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Get a free Woodward Sports t-shirt. That's
Ribbit,
right,
ribbit.
a free Woodward Sports t-shirt all month long at Big Frog in Novi. Just stop in, tell them we sent you, and they will print you one on the spot. So go to Big Frog Novi today and get your free t-shirt, or visit them online at bigfrog.com/Novi. That is bigfrog.com/Novi.
You know, one of the things that people always talk about is, if I'm a veteran out there, I'll just wait for the first 2 months of the season, join a playoff team in the second half of the season, and kind of write my script that way. Braylon, last week we were kind of discussing this, and you said not so fast. It is real hard to get into NFL game shape by just doing workouts on your own.
Yeah, it's tough, and you're talking about old guys. You're talking about older guys going through the process of, working out a lifetime, working on some high school field and getting ready and trying to emulate what they would do in training camp. It's very different when you get out there and you got on pads and you're going through the process. It's tough. It is very tough. So when I was holding out, in 2005. Obviously, my rookie year. I was holding out in 2005. I was working out with actually Antonio Gates. Antonio Gates and he was holding out from San Diego. I was holding out from Cleveland. We were working out in Ann Arbor. We were doing gassers on the field. We had this little play system that we would do where we would run 10 routes, and after that we get 30-second break, and then you run them again. So it's like maybe the first one's a go route, maybe the next one's a slant route. Who helped me with?
Who helps you with it? Do you use the University of Michigan facilities?
Yeah.
Like Gates and everybody that's...
Yeah,
and who runs that workout? You guys?
We do. Yeah, we do.
That's awesome, man.
Get workouts for guys that that you pay to train you, if you will. The guys that train you in the off season, train you for the combine, things of that nature. Mm-hmm. So we would go through that, and we were getting after it. I'm talking about we were going at a good clip, running fast. It's in the sun, it's in the heat. We're getting out there feeling good. When I finally agreed to the deal, when the deal was done, I signed the dotted line, and I took my 22-year-old self to Cleveland to join the team and go through practice. I was dead, Ryan.
Gassed.
I was gassed. You know why? Because I went out there running with pads on and helmets on and water breaks and all these things and do-overs. So when I went in camp, it takes about 3 days to get acclimated. I was 22. You're talking about guys that are 34, 35, 30 years old, trying to wait 2 months and then come in at the end of the season. It's a tough deal. That's why I say I give my hats off to Eric Weddle. Eric Weddle did a hell of a job last year coming in with the Rams. He got paid for 2 weeks, won the Super Bowl, went right back to coaching. That's a tough deal for everybody to do. So it's not as easy as you think.
Let's put up this list. Our good friend Ari Mayrov, who we've had on our show several times, actually. He put great guy.
Pro Football Focus.
Yep, Pro Football Focus. Really good Twitter follow. My Sports Update.
There's some good players on this
list. Look
at
this list. I mean, Eric Fisher. Anybody need a left tackle? Former number 1 overall pick.
Wanted to go to Michigan.
And Dominican Sue. Why didn't he?
Somebody didn't want him. And he ends up going
Rich
to
Rod?
No.
Hope?
No.
Harbaugh?
Yeah.
No way.
He ends up Oklahoma.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, somebody
I thought
didn't
Eric
want
Fisher went to Central.
He transferred.
Maybe he transferred. I don't know where he went, but I thought he went to Central. Either way, a Will Fuller. I mean, how many knee injuries can you have before you get slowed down?
Ask Thomas Davis or Frank Gore.
Cole Beasley, Joe Hayden, Jason Pierre-Paul. I mean, he don't want to give it up yet.
JPP.
This would be his third team.
Damn.
Did you see Jason Peters is going to the Cowboys?
That was a joke.
Oh, God. You're terrible, Braylon.
Camera wasn't on.
Antonio Brown's still out there. I mean, he's not suspended or anything like that, is he? Like, he could come back.
Yeah, because
he's not out on
his matter was
exempt list.
His matter was with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers,
right.
And he just walked off the field. Technically, I mean, it's not illegal by NFL standard. He's doing his thing, by the way. I'm glad you brought up Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown's now doing music. Put that, where he got his dance, put the whatever. It's one of the #1 songs in the country, which is hilarious.
Stop.
It's so popular right now that Mac Brown, who almost lost to Appalachian State. The Michigan curse was almost over. App State almost upsets UNC. They scored 43 points in the fourth quarter, but they come up short. And Mac Brown, at the end of the game, who was one of my favorite coaches of all time, he's such a great man. Met him when we played Texas in the Rose Bowl. He was doing the dance in the locker room, and everybody was like, how you dance after almost losing to Appalachian State? I said, look, you dance because you almost lost Appalachian State.
Almost.
App State was FBS when they beat Michigan. Now they're a real deal. They're in an actual conference. So that was a sucker game, man. I don't know why NC decided to go down and play in their house, man.
Yeah,
that was
one
hell of a game. They went for 2 at the end to tie it at 62 or 64.
62, yeah.
62, and they missed it. Otherwise, they're still playing.
One of the things about App State, too, to be honest with you, that North Carolina guy on the onside kick, instead of falling on it, game over, scores the touchdown to give App State a chance to win it.
I know.
Or at least tie it.
Yep.
Crazy.
And then when App State had the kickoff back to them, the onside kick, their team got absolutely crushed.
Destroyed. You saw
Destroyed.
that?
I did.
It was
That's
3
special
players
teams
right
coach.
next to each other.
I know.
That was crazy.
They lit them up, man. But that was, was I rooting for the Mountaineers that year? I mean, they are the Mountaineers, right?
App State?
No, what are they?
I don't know what they are.
forgot what they are. Anyway, I was rooting for App State.
Yeah.
Big time.
I found myself rooting for UNC, like, just because Mac Brown. I mean, poor guy. I mean, he can't do that.
I love Mac Brown.
You know, can't do that.
Sure you could.
Very good. All right. Maz, Braylon, really good effort out of you guys today. Again, if you
Mountaineers.
I was right.
If you are new to Woodward Sports, check us out. Give us a follow on our social media channels. Really good stuff. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. You'll get mashups of shows, segments on YouTube. Subscribe to Woodward Sports on YouTube. Great website, woodwardsports.com. All that good stuff. Like the show. We got a lot going on here at Woodward Sports Network.
Excited, man. It's going to be a good week, man. You know, Lions season has started. We've been talking about it, it seems like forever, talking about the draft, talking about who they're going to get, all the way from the Senior Bowl to the draft, to the offseason. Hard Knocks waiting for that. Well, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? It is almost here. Michigan State season started this weekend, so we'll dive back into that all week. And then 2 days from now, you got the Bills and you got the Bucks.
2 days,
Not the
baby.
Rams, excuse me. So it should be good. Shout out to Francis Tiafoe. U.S. Open, Francis Tiafoe becomes the youngest player to win at Wimbledon since Andy Roddick did in 2006. He knocks off Rafa Nadal, arguably the greatest men's tennis player ever. So big ups to Francis Tiafoe.
Absolutely. Putting America back on the map in terms of
I'm
men's
trying.
tennis. All right, gang, we're going to get out of here. We will see you tomorrow. Heavyweights, Woodward Bets. It's all coming next. Stay there.
Out.
Do I just go? I'm not going to drop. Go. All right. Go ahead.
2, 1.
Oh, my God.
Go.
Oh, jeez. Oh, my. Oh. This isn't right. I don't get paid enough for this. Oh.